Ben serves as the movie's main character, a 25-year-old man with a baby face who always treats people nicely. He would seem to be the perfect friend, but the reality is quite the reverse. Ben has the power to stop time and do whatever he pleases, but he is not a serial killer. He uses it, of course, to execute his favorite activity, painting, and to strip off ladies. Ben freezes attractive women and creates nude photos of them anywhere, on the highway, at the grocery store. But things weren't always this way. Like all of us, Ben was an average guy with a loving girlfriend and a bright future. The film then cuts back to 5 weeks earlier when everything went wrong. Suzy, Ben's girlfriend, and he are shown arguing while Suzy calls Ben a loser. He breaks up with her out of frustration, which infuriates Suzy even more. Ben notices that everything is moving slowly when she starts throwing stuff at him. Suzy swiftly moves on from the breakup and seeks comfort in a guy. Ben is upset when he sees them together in the college cafeteria. He therefore enrolls in art classes as a means of diversion. Ben paints wonderful paintings with ease, surprising even the teacher, because he has always been interested in creating portraiture. Ben specializes in drawing incredibly lifelike portraits of people. But at night, things became really difficult for him. Every time Ben shuts his eyes, he sees Suzy, which makes it difficult for him to move over their separation. As the days go by, he gradually develops insomnia. Ben is currently unable to sleep for even 1 hour. His former girlfriend's memories are progressively transforming him into a manic-depressive. Ben finally gives Suzy a call and begs her to come back, overcome with guilt and pain. He promises to never do it again, and also expresses regret for ruining their relationship. Suzy rejects Ben's request and ends the call, despite the fact that he went to such lengths for her. Ben is thrown into an even greater pit of sorrow by this. He makes every effort to pass the time over the next few days. Ben enjoys reading, watching movies, and traveling alone to different cities. When night falls, though, the sleeplessness sets in, making it difficult for him to focus on anything else. He then begins doing random tours in the dark. He visits a nearby grocery one evening and sees a job posting for a night shift worker. Ben submits an application right away, believing it to be the ideal way to kill time and make some money at the same time. He is given an interview the following day with Jenkins, the manager, and is eventually given the position. After a lengthy period of sadness, Ben is now content and senses that something big is about to happen in his life. Ben observes how his coworkers approach the practice of passing the time in various ways as he gets used to his new job. The most distinctive style belongs to the cashier, Sharon. She always makes sure to cover the clock with different items. If she stares at it, she thinks the time will pass more slowly. Then there's Barry Brickman, a prankster who never takes himself seriously at work. He pulls various pranks on the female clients, such as stuffing an adult toy in their bags, with the help of his similarly crafty pale Matt Stevens. When customers discover it, some are confused, but some choose to retain it. Only their manager, Jenkins, seems unconcerned with the passing of time. He could go on and on about how wealthy and successful he is. Time moves quickly for him once he begins speaking in egotistical ways. Ben, however, has the most peculiar pastime of any night shift worker. Ben distances himself from time and reality during the throes of his intense sorrow. To put it another way, he utilizes his superpowers to stop time, and eventually his surroundings, allowing him to do anything he wants. One would typically flee with their money or engage in explicit behavior. Ben, though, only wants to develop his artistic abilities. He chooses random customers, gently strips them off, and starts drawing their portraits since he is in awe of the feminine body. Ben simply wants to make sure his love for art never dies. He has no sexual feelings for them. When he's through, he puts them back in their clothes and cracks his fingers, which restarts time. Now, this is Ben's way of life. Although he can't be proud of it, at least he is no longer that crazed and miserable individual. He had been distracting himself from Suzy slowly but surely. Ben often spends time at home with his best friend, Sharon. Since they were kids, the two have been together. Sharon, the complete opposite of Ben, in that his only desire is to get into a girl's pants. It is discovered. He has visited each and every strip club in the city. One evening while working the night shift, Ben runs into Sharon, the cashier, in the locker room. Although he seems to be crushing on her, he's too nervous to admit it. But as they converse, the cheerful cashier surprises him by biting into his sandwich. Sharon clumsily tries to remove a little pickle piece that has stuck to her face. Ben intervenes when he sees her struggling and helps her remove it, leading to a rather corny interaction between them. After some while, Sharon makes the decision to go and walks out the door. Ben wishes he could capture the moment and hold on to it for a week, but Sharon has already left by the time he realizes what he should be doing. After some time, Matt unexpectedly emerges from one of the stalls while he is working and admits that he is taking Sharon to the movies. Ben is devastated by this and questions why he is so unfortunate. He then thinks back to his school years when he had his first love. Everyone used to admire her since she was the smartest student in the class. She once had an accident, sprained her arm, and was forced to wear a bulky cast. Her students used to write uplifting messages on it daily to cheer her up. Ben also desired to write, but he was too afraid to approach her. Sadly, he lost the chance because of his hesitation when the girl took off her cast a few days later. Everyone was relieved to see her fully recovered, but when they saw that she had grown hair on that arm, they started making fun of her. When the girl finally begins to cry, Ben decides to intervene. He leads her to a quiet area and reassures her that he will always be there for her. The two rapidly develop into close friends and then lovers. One day the girl walks up to Ben out of nowhere and asks if he wants to kiss her. He immediately responds yes, and they decide to meet up at their preferred location over the weekend. Ben is thrilled to be kissing a female for the first time, and when the weekend finally arrives, he gets there early. He waits all day, but the girl never shows up, hurting his heart. Ben discovers the girl has moved to a different city with her parents the next day. This was the first time he had ever felt hopeless and down. Jenkins assembles his staff once more and tells them they will be participating in a casual football game with some of his buddies. Despite Ben and the others' disinterest, they are forced to participate in the game. Since it is obvious that nobody on the grocery team knows how to play, they lose the game badly. With goal after goal, the other team increases the lead to 26-0. When Ben has had enough, he stops the clock and retires to the locker room. A man suddenly defrosts and bolts outside. This shows that Ben is not the only one who has learned the skill. He eventually leaves and snaps his fingers, causing time to return to its former state. In his haste, Matt kicks the ball so carelessly that it strikes Jenkins in the face. He is taken right away to the hospital, and every other teammate returns home. Ben and Sharon are left alone. The following scene. In an effort to get to know one another better, the two stop into a nearby diner. Ben learns there that she is actually single, and that Matt was joking when he mentioned dating her. Then she tells Ben about her dreams, and he does the same. Sharon claims she's always wanted to meet a painter because she believes artists are able to capture the true beauty of things. It becomes apparent that the two have chemistry as they talk. Following their unofficial date, while accompanying Sharon home, Ben awkwardly wrecks their first kiss by pecking her on the cheeks when she wanted it on the lips. The following day, a disfigured Jenkins declares that he will throw a party to celebrate his birthday. Ben enthusiastically accepts Sharon's request to go on a date with him. Jenkins later calls the guys to his office and assigns them certain jobs to complete in order to prepare for his birthday. Ben has the responsibility of inviting a stripper to the party. Despite never having spoken to one in his life, he is aware of the ideal individual who can assist him. He approaches his best friend Sean for assistance, promising to take him to the party if they succeed. The two then proceed to a nearby bar, where Sean makes use of his contacts to book a girl for the party. Ben receives a call the following morning from an unidentified man who claims to be an art enthusiast. He has a gallery in the town and wishes for some of Ben's work to be displayed. This delights the latter. Someone has recognized his artistic talent for the first time in his life, but he was unaware of it. It transpires that Barry and Matt made the call as a joke. Ben gets ready for the party that night and goes to pick up Sharon. He enthusiastically informs her that a well-known organization wants to display his artwork as soon as she opens the door. He receives Sharon's heartfelt congratulations, and the two soon leave for the party. The gathering is already in progress when the two show up. Jenkins is on the DJ, Matt and Barry are dancing like sociopaths, and Sean is getting rejected by a girl. Ben recognizes Suzy, his ex-girlfriend, among those there. It turns out that she is the girlfriend of Jenkins' brother. Soon after, the stripper shows up and turns the party into a frenzy. Sean in particular connects with her right away. Meantime, Ben goes to the restroom where he meets Suzy. No time is wasted. She says that she wants them to make up and get back together. Ben naturally doesn't want it because he's already found his true love, but the insane girl insists. She even gives him a hard kiss out of the blue. Ben pushes her back right away, but when he turns around, he sees Sharon watching the entire thing. Ben makes an attempt to explain that it is not what it appears to be, but the innocent cashier walks away without listening. After a while, he then goes right to her apartment. Ben tries to explain everything to Sharon, but she is too angry to hear him out. Ben becomes irate and departs when she begins throwing profanities because of the breakup. He falls back into his world of depression and insomnia. His appointment with the purported art gallery business that had called him is the only thing he looks forward to. The day finally arrives in the following scene, and Ben arrives there carrying some of his finest creations, as expected. When the gallery owner disputes that he had an appointment with him, Ben realizes that he's been played like a fool. However, as he prepares to leave, the owner spots some of his sketches of Sharon and requests to see them. Unexpectedly, he likes them, and Ben is given the opportunity to exhibit his art in the gallery for one night. Sharon receives a formal invitation to Ben's art exhibit a few days later. She chooses to go to the exhibition even though she is furious with him. When Sharon arrives, she is shocked to discover that every piece of art there is a portrait of her. Ben apparently stopped painting portraits of other ladies and concentrated all of his attention on Sharon. She was the love of his life, and he was unable to look at any other lady. Ben and Sharon finally meet in the meantime. The latter tries to describe what took place on the night of the party, but Sharon tells him he doesn't have to. Just by gazing at his paintings, she has finally come to understand how much he loves her. The two then move in closer together and enjoy a passionate kiss in the center of the room art gallery. Ben uses his abilities to freeze everything. Sharon can now move about in the frozen world, though. The two then venture outside into the snow where there are countless snowflakes hanging in the air. The couple finally shares another kiss, thereby bringing the film to a joyful conclusion. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and share to help me grow this channel. Turn on notifications for new updates. See you next time.